and all the mountains
Oh.
in Disneyland, because there are mountains in Disneyland.
Oh, segue!
Whoa! Okay, so move over, Mickey Mouse. The Star Wars gang is coming to Disneyland, and it's forcing a lot of closures in its wake. According to Los Angeles Times, the Anaheim theme park is getting ready to build a new 14-acre Star Wars-themed area called What Else But Star Wars Land that will force a large section of the park to close. Some attractions, like Fantasmic, the Mark Twain Riverboat, the sailing ship Columbia, and the Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer Island, the Disneyland Railroad, and Davy Crockett Explorer canoes will be closed temporarily during construction. No skin off my nose.
I was going to say, these sound horrible.
They're just okay. They're classics, but it's one of those that's like, meh. I don't know Disneyland as well as I know Disney World. Yeah. But Big Thunder Ranch in Frontierland, an attraction that includes Big Thunder Ranch Barbecue, Big Thunder Ranch Petting Zoo, and Big Thunder Ranch Jamboree, will permanently close on January 10th, 2016. That is sad because what they have over there is really, really cool.
Yeah.
It's a better Frontierland than what they have over in Disney World's Magic Kingdom. They have a freaking petting zoo.
Well, which is better? The scale model? I don't know if they're even doing this. This is just
scale model Millennium Falcon. You're absolutely right.
Or a petting zoo.
No. You're absolutely right. You can
or a Star Wars petting zoo.
Yay!
I want to ride a Tauntaun.
Why not though?
That'd be best.
Yes.
Well, they don't smell as bad as they do on the inside.
That's true.
In total, the LA Times says that 14% of the park's attractions will be closed, either permanently or temporarily, in the area that represents nearly a quarter of Disneyland's 85 acres. But don't worry, Disneyland officials say that the animals from the Big Thunder Ranch Petting Zoo have been adopted by a Southern California family that has worked with Disney animals in the past, and that's all in quotation marks.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they mean by adopted. That's a little scary.
They put a bullet in their head.
They're delicious.
News of this park-wide closure comes after Disneyland increased its price of admission. Paying more for less isn't usually a good way to drive business, but theme park seems unfazed, claiming the addition of Star Wars is only going to increase the sales. Duh. Already, Disneyland has added a few Star Wars details to current attractions, like in Space Mountain, and converted an underused section in Tomorrowland into an area where parkgoers can play Star Wars video games, buy merchandise, and meet characters. So we expect to see a lot of little Rays running around.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Oh, wait, this is my favorite. If that didn't win you over, maybe you'll have fun at the Galactic Grill, an eatery that now sells Star Wars treats. I love puns on food. Like a Darth by chocolate dessert.
I'd order that.
Oh, yeah. And a cheese 3PO burger.
I'd order that too.
I need this.
Yep.
I need this in my stomach.
Exactly.
Right now. Yep.
The opening date for Star Wars Land, which will reportedly feature a full-size Millennium Falcon, has yet to be officially announced, but it's reported to be at least a year away.
I know when it needs to be. It needs to be May 2017.
Can you get a pizza shaped like the Millennium Falcon?
That would be amazing.
You need a pizza pun.
Yeah.
And it's Pizza the Hut.
Yeah!
I
like that one.
But we're going to have to pay Mel Brooks some royalties.
But pay him.
Pay him because Mel Brooks is awesome. And isn't that guy about to, Mel
really?
Brooks? I hope not, but isn't he about to kick the bucket? How old is Mel Brooks
He's
now,
up
honestly?
there.
Yeah.
He's got to be in his 90s. Genius. I love him.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to meet him, but, man. Yeah.
Come on, Pizza the Hut would be.
Yeah,
awesome.
you wouldn't have to pay royalties for that long.
but that 3PO burger, I've eaten all day, so that sounds really delicious.
The only thing that makes me really mad about this is if they're starting in Anaheim, that means
it's further away from us than
further
Orlando.
away from us.
No. They're already starting to do stuff. It's just this is a big thing because they're shutting down stuff and taking away things in Anaheim because they literally don't have room to create anything more. In Disney World, they have so much space. Yeah, exactly.
And
they're going to build it
Initially, they said, though, that they're going to close some stuff in Disneyland also because of the
Disney World,
because of Star Wars and Avatar both coming.
Right.
Great.
Well, I'm sure they're going to,
really
just as long as they don't take away, because it's going in Hollywood Studios, which makes total sense. And in Hollywood Studios, too, they're also making a Pixar land.
So wait, they're putting the Star Wars stuff in Hollywood Studios?
Correct.
I love that, because then I could just buy a Hollywood Studios pass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because I like Hollywood studios anyway.
Yeah. No, and I
That's where
understand that
Twilight
with
Zone
some
is, right?
people. Yeah, that's where Twilight Zone is.
Yeah.
That's where Rock and Roller Coaster is. I'm
Cartoons.
scared because people don't go on it as much. I'm scared that they will either take out Great Movie Ride, because they threatened to do that before, or Muppets.
No, they're not going to get rid of
I don't
Muppets.
think
I hope they don't.
Because
If
Muppets
they
get
upgraded it
revitalized
a little
on
bit,
HBO. You know,
they're doing Sesame Street on HBO.
that's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
they
Muppets
have
has a
new
TV show on
86.
ABC.
Yeah,
That's true.
and it's great, but like sometimes I get a little worried because it doesn't always have the biggest line. But I do know that they're taking out. They have a stunt car show where they do all the stunt cars and everything. If they took out the Indiana Jones stunt spectacular,
Nope, that's not happening either.
Well, here's the thing.
It's been there a long
It's been there a
It's
long
been there a long
time.
time, but I'm also they'll close it to renovate it whenever Disney finally gets off their asses and makes a new indie movie.
They're
Young indie movie.
Yeah.
No more Shia LaBeouf.
Well, it won't be Shia, and it won't be Harrison.
Well, you know,
I still say Bradley Cooper.
maybe
That's my hat
they
in the
could
ring.
go back and do literally
Young
young indie,
Yeah.
and it could be Indiana Jones, because Shia LaBeouf is not Indiana Jones.
No. And I don't think they're gonna like continue the life of Indiana Jones. They will make a new person be Indiana Jones and go back to that World War II, pre-World War II era adventure time that Indiana existed in.
And
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Because
Yeah.
Harrison Ford's almost 70.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's awesome, but
over.
like
He's over 70.
Yeah,
he's awesome, but I mean,
he is.
you know, whew,
Yeah.
you can only swash and buckle and use that whip
Well,
for so
he
long.
still says he wants to do another one though. I've seen this. He does.
It's
I don't know
Great.
It's
how that would work.
I would watch it if they
I
don't
would
do the Shia LaBeouf stuff, but man, I don't know.
Here's how you do it.
Well, George Lucas is retired from all that now, so maybe he'll be good.
Here's how you do it. You have to completely erase Crystal Skull. You have to completely, that's officially fan fiction. That's how you do it.
I don't think.
Speaking of fan fiction, did you guys read the article I tagged you in
Yeah,
about
and I
Star
don't
Wars?
believe it.
I do
What is
not
this?
remember. It was a while ago. Which one
It was last week.
I don't remember that.
I tagged these guys in an article, and I actually really respect the writer. His name's Devin Ferrarsi. He and I crossed paths a lot of different times at press events. He used to write for Any Cool News. He's written for a lot of really cool places. And his take on the Star Wars movie is that it's basically fan fiction. It's a reboot, retooling of A New Hope.
Well, his
original Star Wars.
excuse is saying, well, because George isn't involved, it's not Star Wars. And I go, here's what Star Wars is. Star Wars is a joke right now. Star Wars, the fans, if The Force Awakens went in the same direction of the prequels, Star Wars would be over. It would be over. You would have a small audience, but it wouldn't do $600 million at the box.
Well, right.
office.
Actually,
those
it
movies
would
were
do. And the counter, and possibly agreement to that article is I was reading a review an interview with George Lucas saying it basically that the direction that Force Awakens went was completely off of the supposed plan that he had for Episode 7. He was going to go new characters, new worlds, new everything, and not do the nostalgia bomb that Force Awakens ultimately was. And let's face it, Force Awakens succeeds very much so because it is a nostalgia bomb. It's a nostalgia bomb done very well, but it's because it's able to get all the Star Wars fans to reconnect to all the stuff that they like, and
then
build.
you go.
Yeah.
And see,
That's-
this tied
you have
into
to
my.
bring
You
the
weren't here,
fandom back
but this
together.
tied into my big argument and my big, and honestly, the more distance I have from the movie experience that I had seeing it, the more it bothers me. Is I've loved Star Wars since I was a child.
Right.
I've seen the story that we saw in Force Awakens, and it bothered me that I didn't get anything new. It's the same story over again.
I disagree.
It's another Death Star. It's basically a female Luke Skywalker in a lot of ways.
I disagree on a couple points. One, that she's a female Luke Skywalker. She's far more capable than Luke
She
was.
was.
in New Hope.
I mean, like,
Well,
But here's the real reason I disagree. Fine, you can say it's a remake of New Hope. It's a better remake than New Hope.
It is.
I rank it better than New Hope.
Well,
it is my third favorite Star Wars movie
I
right
would
now.
probably. See, I wouldn't, because there's another part of me, and we've had this discussion about ranking before. But there's the movie, and then there's the innovation of the movie.
That's a valid point.
Does not innovate.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. It's not doing anything new.
Yeah,
It's
that's
great,
right.
but there's nothing new.
No, I
when
agree.
Star Wars came out, There was never anything like that before.
But you're never going to get that again. And the other thing
You
is,
will.
too, is that...
It's not true. We got it with Jurassic Park. That was the first time something like that had been done before.
Well, yes, of course, but you can't do anything new within the Jurassic
We had the
Park.
same conversation with Jurassic World
Exactly.
now, too.
Here's the deal with Star Wars. You just have to do everything in that story well now. Nothing, we're never going to get another what they twist kind of thing where we find out that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father.
What kind of pisses me off is everybody was like, I just want it to be better than the prequels. If it could just be better than the prequels, I'll be happy. Now the film came out, it's like, well, it was better than the prequels, but it didn't live up to my expectations. It's like, your expectations were better than the prequels. Suddenly you change them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
That was my expectation.
J.J. Abrams movies, I loved, and I stand by it, I love J.J. Abrams stuff, but a good portion of J.J. Abrams movies, when they come out, everybody's like, holy crap, they're amazing, this is awesome. And a few years later, people look back and say,
looks back
it wasn't.
on Star Trek Into
Star
Darkness.
Trek Into Darkness.
I don't entirely agree.
It's not every movie.
No,
but all the way down to Super 8. People are like, holy crap, Super 8, and then a few years later...
I still think Super 8's a really good movie.
I like it also.
I've not heard that retroactive criticism about Super 8. I haven't heard that about Mission Impossible 3. I haven't... I hear that a little bit about Star Wars Trek, but...
I hear a lot about Star Trek.
Well,
Darkness,
I hear a lot... Not as much about Star Trek, and I still enjoy Star Trek. Still don't. I came out of the theater not liking Into Darkness. Into Darkness is the anomaly, in my opinion.
Yeah. But here's my thinking on Star Wars. I love it. I'm going to go see it at least one more time. But I feel like I just have this feeling in the back of my brain right now that 3 or 4 years from now, when I sit down and reconsider this movie, I'm not going to like it as much as I do right now.
As long as Episode 8 is a good...
And not
I was about to say, I do believe that Episode 8 is going to get better because, like
Episode
you
8 is
said,
going to be less of the repeat. It's less of the nostalgia
because
bomb.
this is just like, it was a nostalgia bomb. This is like, hey, everybody, come back in. It's like, bringing you in a warm blanket. And
Now we got you.
guys. It's okay. Now we got you.
Do you see what I'm saying, though? Like what's her name?
Right.
She's dropped on a desert planet.
Yeah, no. I totally get what you're saying.
And Michael's like, all the bad guys know how to do is build giant machines. But do they all have to be doing, big balls in space? Does it all have to be exactly the same?
You're right, but here's the deal, too.
And Mike also thinks that this entire trilogy is going to be the redemption of Kylo Ren. If it is, I'm done.
I have heard that, and actually I kind of like that idea.
I
don't think
we
so?
had it already with Darth Vader. If we get that again, I'm going to be super pissed because that means
But it's
the
going
next
to be
movie
but
is
it's
gonna
going to be him from the beginning wanting to do that.
Well, I wouldn't be
It doesn't
pissed.
matter when they started if it's the same.
I don't know why
it's the same arc.
I don't know why that would be problematic. I mean, that's the whole point of the light side struggling to defeat the dark side.
But if you look now, see, I'm not a fan of the expanded universe stuff. I didn't read the books that much, but I do know there was a lot of light side, dark side stuff going on in those books, but they weren't the same redemption story over and over again. There's more stories to be told and different characters and different adventures. Give me that stuff. Don't tell me the same story over and over again. You don't have to.
Well, we're also
getting
a little bit of a redemption story with Finn as well. Finn's going to be, pardon my pun, but the dark horse of the Star Wars Enterprise.
But it's not as much of a redemption just because, like you said, it's his first battle, his first time
he didn't really do anything bad.
He didn't really do anything bad yet to require redeeming.
Finn, as much as Nathan hates the character, Finn.
He hated him? I loved Finn.
Finn is the one, to me, kind of unique piece of the puzzle in this movie.
Oh,
because
totally.
You have Pope, who I hate. I hate that actor. I think he's.
I don't really like him that much. I don't like him.
I like Oscar Isaac.
What's wrong with you?
That's the one character I'm like,
Yeah, and they're saying, these guys have been telling me, well, he's the new Han Solo. No freaking way. He's not even close to the...
No one's going to be close to Han Solo, but the analogy character...
He fits the spot, right?
Yeah.
And you've got Kylo, who's Darth Vader, basically, and you've got...
Rey, who's
Luke. But Finn...
He's new.
He's something fresh.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's the thing that I'm kind of hinging... Him and Moss, I like that character a lot.
Who's Moss?
Moss,
Moss!
Yeah.
She was awesome. She was my favorite.
You want my analogy? So a lot of the internet wants Poe and Finn to be a couple.
Oh my
So,
gosh, who cares?
so Finn is
about
going to
that?
be the Princess Leia character, and since Poe is the Han Solo character, they can.
Okay, so we're about to do box office. We had a really epic Star Wars discussion last week. I wanted Catherine to at least be able to say her piece on it.
Okay.
Which it sounds like you loved it.
I did. I had the best time ever. We had like not so great seats, and it was still just one of the most captivating things ever. And I loved it. Was a nostalgia bomb. My sister actually fell asleep during the movie.
Whoa, yeah.
Wait. Full disclosure, she only had an hour of sleep the night before.
And she drank a little before we went.
Cards. Yeah. She's a teacher at a charter school, and for those of you who are listening, it's a school for kids in high-risk areas, and they work them to death. That girl works so much. So she had very, very little sleep, but she was snoring the whole time. But anyway,
man, if I was next to that, I would have been so pissed.
Well, luckily we had her in between us, so it was fine. But and she wasn't snoring very loudly. But she finally saw it again for the first time, I guess, and she was like, "Oh, but this scene was corny and this scene was corny." I'm like, "It's a space opera, literally."
Star Wars was corny in parts.
Exactly, and that's part of the thing. That's part of the thing too. That like I get exactly what you're saying, and I guess I'm kind of being a little bit of a devil's advocate, and also hoping too that like. This is like a New Hope where it's just going to hinge and like it's just going to keep building and getting better.
Here's the redemption for me. If the next movie does not follow the path of the Empire Strikes Back.
I don't think it will.
If it doesn't, I will appreciate this one much more.
I don't think you will either.
If she ends up being Han Solo's daughter, I might be done.
I don't think she's going to be Han Solo's daughter.
I don't think she's going to be Han.
No. Luke Skywalker's daughter.
I think that's still entirely true.
Yeah.
I might be done.
Well,
that would piss me off.
I don't know.
You will come back for the third one.
You will.
You will.
You will see each of those movies. You will see each of those movies in theaters.
But I feel like this one is kind of like the first season of Breaking Bad, where it's like, ooh, this is good, but maybe. And then, like, as you get on, you're like, holy crap, that's the reason that all this happened in the beginning, because you had to have that, and all the pieces work together so beautifully. That's what I want to happen, and that's what I'm really hoping will happen, because it was just such a good movie. It was so much fun.
Do we really... Are the Skywalkers the only really great Jedis that ever existed?
No.
I mean, does she have to be a Skywalker also?
No, I don't think so.
Well, see, that's it.
Although I do think that Finn is going to be Mace Windu's grandchild.
No, I don't. That would be retarded.
There aren't many people.
That's why it would be retarded.
Yeah.
Well, how many? You have Lando. You have.
That's not true. That's not true. Which one was I rewatching? I think it was either New Hope or Jedi. I saw there was a black X-wing pilot. He died, but there was a black X-wing pilot.
Yeah, it's a Jedi.
So here's
here's
the other thing, and this will help transition us into box office. I have got to see Star Wars one more time before we do our top 10 best of the year, so I can figure out placement, because when we came in here, I gave it an 8.5. And I was still, I think, the lowest rating. I think everybody else was 9.
Yeah.
Well, now, with a little bit of distance, I've kind of pushed it back to 8, honestly, and I want to see it again to make sure I'm honestly feeling that way. Now, for the transition part, if you didn't see my review of Hateful Eight, I gave it a 9 out of 10. So what does that tell you right away? That movie's spectacular. I loved it so much. We saw the Roadshow version.
Who has not seen it?
I have not seen it yet.
I have not seen Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight.
Be hard
Hateful Eight. The best thing about Hateful Eight for me is it is a character study. Yep. It's not the typical beginning, middle, end. It's sort of an evolving, layered character study.
Okay.
And I don't think it's going to be as good next year when the cut version comes out. Because
do you think they'll do the cut version on Blu-ray?
Yeah, that you mean the uncut?
Like the extended version.
Tarantino is acting like the only way you see this one is in the Roadshow. That's what he's saying.
Depressed if that's the case.
And you know, he has precedence for that. We still don't have Kill Bill 1 and 2.
We do not have the whole movie.
So it could very well be that the only way to see this is in this Roadshow presentation, and it was great. You will love it because it's very like in the 1950s when they would do a Roadshow movie, like it didn't tour. It didn't open in 3,000 theaters. It toured the country, and they would do an overture at the beginning. The overture is great because it's like 5 minutes of the Morricone music with just the word overture on the screen. And then, yeah, it gets you kind of in the mood, and then you see the first hour and a half, and you get about a 8 or 10 minute intermission.
It's about 10.
Do not
15.
Nico. This is the one thing I'm gonna tell you. If you get there, do not spend too much. Don't come back late because the intermission is over. Some stuff happens that
fast.
you need to know. Yeah, because
it's what 3
hours 8 minutes.
I may not just get off at the intermission.
Oh, well, I got up to run to the bathroom.
How long is the intermission?
It's
10 minutes
or a little less.
I might run, but
you probably want to but everybody in this movie is spectacular. Jennifer Jason Leigh.
She's going to get an Oscar nomination.
She owns it. You wouldn't realize it was her for the longest time.
What's Jennifer Jason Leigh been in? I'm sorry.
Let's see.
I'll look her up.
Yeah, pull her up real quick so you can. I'm trying to think of what I can.
She better get an Oscar nom because she has this part in the second half where I went, holy crap.
Well, I mean, she really gets to play against type, and I don't mean type of her acting filmography. I mean against type. Women don't get to play this kind of role.
Oh, then I will love it.
Yeah, this is a role you don't see women get to play that often. And it starts out, it's got an arc, you're like, it's shocking and amazing. And Samuel L. Jackson does some of the best work he's ever done.
Oh my gosh.
Ever.
He has this monologue at the first half. It is the scene of the first half. And it is so fantastic. And nobody else but him could have done it.
It's true. So the other part is, the film is presented in this 70mm format, which is hilarious to me because going in, I thought, well, Quentin Tarantino has said the way this movie needs to be seen and it's meant to be seen is in 70mm. So I thought, oh my God, there's going to be all these sweeping vistas and stuff. The opening of the movie, the opening credits is the most beautiful shot in the whole movie. It's gorgeous. The rest of the movie, 99% of the movie takes place in one room.
No, not 99.
Well,
about 85.
No,
80%.
more than that.
That's
They
all.
don't get to the cabin until 50 minutes in.
But that's still a lot in the same room.
But the majority of the time
It's in that room.
When they're traveling to the freaking cabin, the majority of the shots are inside the wagon.
85%.
Well, whatever. But it struck me.
I want a minute count.
It struck me though. Watching the movie, you just sort of soak it in because there's a part where Kurt Russell's character is standing in the doorway of the building that they're in, and you freaking see wall to wall.
Yeah.
You see one wall to the other.
Like
it feels like it's
180
not 3D,
degrees.
it's none of that, but you feel like you're in the room because literally you could see everything in the room.
You see 4 different
And
characters
that
in
will
different
not
places.
happen in the regular presentation.
Yes, it will.
No, it won't look the same.
It's the same aspect ratio.
It's not. I guarantee it's not going to look the same. It's not going to have that same.
It's not going to have that grandeur and quality.
That's what I mean. It's not going to be the same. But it's probably one of his best shot movies in a way because it's so tight. He had to be really creative.
Yeah.
And I looked at Mike and I said, I'm going to tell you something weird. This is the first Quentin Tarantino movie I have ever seen that I don't want to cut anything and it's 3 hours long.
I actually disagree. I think you could cut about 5 minutes out. That's about it.
You know what? The funny thing is, there's actually a cut version.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
too
the
much.
thing is
That cuts 20 minutes out. We don't need that.
it's precise in its pace. It's slow. It's a slow burn, and it's a character story. So you learn a lot about the people, and it's
a full movie.
It moves along at a clip for 3 hours, and if you don't get to see the roadshow version, you
screwed yourself.
done yourself a disservice.
Okay, let me tell you.
And they
how
give you
it
a little, and they give you a little book with it, like a photo book that'll be collectible, and it's just a really overall great experience.
Can I just say this is the most important intermission film I've seen in at least 10 years. That intermission is so vital to that film.
Mm-hmm.
It plays completely differently if you don't have it.
Well, and the intermission isn't like forced in; it's cut into the movie.
Yeah.
So it's at the
you
right
come
spot.
back after the intermission and say about 15 minutes have passed since we last left our characters.
Oh, okay.
It's literally part of the story. It's crazy. So I think probably part of what's going to be cut is that. They have
No, I've already checked.
That was it.
There is a DVD screener that of the cut version.
Oh, we don't want to talk about that too much yet.
That has come out and that is in there.
But
It just
right
looks
now,
tinted black.
currently,
About 10
I
seconds.
rate it higher than I do the new Star Wars
I
movie,
can see that.
which is crazy.
See,
But also for me though, and this is more important to some people than others. If you, one, give me a great movie, and two, you innovate, you truly innovate and make me have a different experience in the theater, you get points from me, and this did. I've never had this kind. I've had this kind of experience one time, but it wasn't a new movie. It was seeing The Deer Hunter.
Oh,
you see The Deer Hunter with that intermission in the middle?
There was no intermission.
No, the version I saw.
Okay, you suck.
Yeah. In fact, in the original, Mike and I were just talking about this. The original time the movie came out on VHS, it was 2 tapes, and it ended with an intermission, and the intermission was the beginning of the second tape. So yeah, it was in there. Yeah.
You suck.
I know. Because that's a hard movie to watch with the breaks. Because it's a 3-hour movie also. So anyway, that brings us to the box office.
Oh, and for anybody looking for a more in-depth discussion of the Hateful Eight, screw you. There's no way to do an in-depth discussion of the Hateful Eight without going into spoilers.
If you want to see something spoiler-free, you can go to CultureSmash.tv because I wrote 1,600 words without spoiling it. Zach.
Yeah, but you didn't go into the story in
details. There's no need to go into
not even
details.
a setup.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's
what I mean.
I did one
talk about it in depth. This character's blank or blank scene and blank blank is totally a spoiler.
But you don't have to do that.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
So here's the box office.
The least you know about.
So anyway, the box office.
So anyway, the box office.
Any Taboo merit badge will be taught at Steven's house.
Exactly. Okay. Number 10 was the Hateful Eight. $4.6 million that one made on a $44 million budget. That's cheap.
That's really cheap. It's not even in its full wide release yet.
No.
Can I just say one last thing?
No.
Excuse me. This is the only film I've seen in a couple of years that actually made me feel cold.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's really cold.
Did they chill the sets, or was that a set in actual winter?
I don't know.
Because it looked cold.
I don't know.
I'm kind of really interested to watch The Revenant for that same kind of feel.
Yeah, it has that same kind of feel, but even when they're inside the building in the movie, there's like smoke coming off their
Yeah.
They never get warm.
They chilled the set, or they really took it place in the cabin.
Something.
Every time they go up to the campfire, or to this fireplace, it feels warm. Because you're like, oh god, something warm.
That was part, that's funny is the music, Ennio Morricone music, a lot of it came from The Thing.
There's one song that came
But it's used a few times in the movie, though.
I know, and I'm probably the only one other than you that knows.
Well, because I love that movie, it's like, but they're so connected, those two movies, the Thing and this one.
It's very similar.
Kurt Russell,
yeah.
Wait.
Yep.
What if
he was
in a way?
That Creedy was the reincarnation.
Exactly. So number 9 was The Hunger Games. Mockingjay Part 2 made another $5.2 million. That was made $264 million so far on a $160 million budget. So it's making money. Number 8 is Point Break. $9.8 million that one made on its opening weekend. No budget there. Oh, it looks so terrible.
There's no way it could have been a lot of money.
It just looks so terrible.
We're going to talk about it this week, and then we're going to forget it.
I'm pretty sure the movie probably cost the money that they throw out the plane.
Probably. Concussion is number 7. That one made $10.5 million. There's some Oscar bait for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
$35 million budget, which is pretty cheap for a Will Smith movie.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6 is The Big Short. $10.5 million. That one made 16 so far. I saw this movie.
How was it?
It's actually really good. The problem with it is, so you know what the movie's about, right?
Yeah, housing market.
It's about the crash of the housing market. Well, what they do is they show how it got to the point that it was in when it crashed, and it's very complex. It's really complicated, and they tried to
economics.
and they tried to simplify it because literally they break the fourth wall. At one point, one of the main characters said, "And here's Anthony Bourdain to tell you how this works." And literally, he's cutting food and talking in his restaurant, and he explains it to you. And then it goes back to the movie. Yeah.
So they pull a Wolf of Wall Street almost.
Way more aggressively than that. There's 3 or 4 times where they randomly have a cameo of somebody coming to explain what's happening because it's so complicated, and it was still a little bit hard to get.
Because in Wolf of Wall Street, they do that, so let me tell you, blah, 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 blah. You're not even paying attention. You don't understand this. Long story short, was this illegal? Absolutely not.
And Brad Pitt is in it, and he's actually really good. It's like the most subtle thing that he's done in years.
Shoulder's a slave.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the entire cast is really, really good. That's the only thing I'll say about it is, at times it's a little.
It looks good, and I want to go to try to see it before the end of the year.
You should. All right, let's see. Number 5 is Alvin and the Chipmunks.
The Road Chip.
Road Chip. It made-
So,
Yes.
funny story with this.
Uh-oh.
One of my friends on Facebook, the night before Star Wars came out, or like the day after or something, like, he posted on his Facebook saying, like, hey, everybody, I know that the biggest movie of the year is coming out, and I would really appreciate if any of my friends kept the spoilers off my Facebook feed, because not everybody got to see Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Okay, that's
And,
pretty
yeah.
fun.
Oh, I know.
That's
I know.
pretty fun.
This guy's ridiculous. So, yeah.
All right, so
That's my joke there.
it made $13 million. Then it's made 39.8 so far. We don't know the budget on it yet. All right, so number 4 is Sisters.
I
That
want
one
to see this.
that made $14 million. I like Tina Fey.
I love Amy Poehler. I like them both. I
like them
don't
both.
always like them together, though. That's the bad thing.
Because
I
I feel like
I
they
like their SNL hosting.
Their
Yeah.
SNL hosting is great. The Golden Globes are great, but Baby Mama was bad. Now, I did hear that this is better than Baby Mama.
You know what I feel like they do with them is I feel like that Hollywood thinks, oh, they have great chemistry, they're funny together. Let's just slap a plot together and let them be fun. And see
Maybe
what
that's
happens.
it, and like,
And it just doesn't work.
It really doesn't, and I think they have great chemistry off, and I think that they make up funny stuff together, especially when Tina Fey writes. Like, because I think Tina Fey is the comedic writing genius, while Amy Poehler is the one who just shines, just being like madcap zany on camera, and that's why they work so well together.
I'll probably see this, but not in a theater. I'm not going to pay because it's probably not going to be that good. Then Joy made $17 million. $60 million budget on that one. I'm hearing mixed things about that movie. Some people say it's great, and some people say it's not good. Number 2 is Daddy's Home. That one had an opening of $38.7 million. No budget on that one. I have no interest in that whatsoever.
Which one is that?
That's the Mark Wahlberg.
Okay,
Will
Will Ferrell, I got it.
Will
Yeah.
Ferrell.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't think it's going to be good. And number 1 over the weekend is The Force Awakens. It made another $149 million. Just for reference, it dropped 39.8%, which is a reasonable drop.
That's actually very good. Usually it's 50%,
Yeah.
48%.
Yeah, so it's pretty reasonable. It's made $540 million so far.
Shut
It broke
up.
$1 billion already globally.
Took 12 days.
12 days. Yeah.
And it's not even open in China yet.
Yeah, it broke so many records, and we talked about most of them last week.
It's on track to outgross Jurassic Park or Jurassic World.
Oh, it's totally gonna
But
do that.
but it's gonna be close.
duh.
It's gonna be close.
Yeah,
Well, it broke $1 billion before, like day earlier.
and I was looking, and I thought, well, this should crush Avatar, but it's got to double this money to crush Avatar. I didn't realize it.
Which is
Avatar's a
nuts
worldwide.
to me. Like,
Yeah,
Avatar
worldwide.
was a terrible movie.
Yeah,
Nathan's not here.
Avatar was not the greatest movie in the world.
Avatar
but-
stayed in theaters for a while. That's the thing that helped
and the
it.
thing about Avatar is the theatrical experience.
Yeah,
it was.
people
It
kept,
broke ground. For
people
3D.
kept going back and taking their friends to experience the 3D experience of Avatar, and as such, it stayed at theaters for a while. So that's how it really.
It was around for
Avatar did
really.
Avatar was not a high-grossing film, but what it did was every single weekend for like 6 to 7 weeks was gross $60 million every week.
Yeah.
It was
6 or
consistent.
7
Yeah.
weeks.
And then
It was a long game.
globally, it made quite a bit of money. Too.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden China and other countries were like, holy crap.
Yeah. So opening this weekend, if you want to see something, there's not much really. The Hateful Eight is playing limited. If you're lucky enough to see it in your area, see it.
I thought
76% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is probably a pretty reasonable number, because what happens a lot of times is, if you look at some of the people that gave it bad reviews, or like Christian Science Monitor, stuff like that, they're going to give it a bad review because it's the one thing
I
I'm going
don't
to say
get it.
about this movie. It's gory as hell in places.
I don't understand why they wouldn't like
It's more
it.
than gory as hell. It is freaking
Gory.
violent.
Is it gory as
It's
purgatory?
It is the goriest film I've seen all year.
It's a true grindhouse movie. So in that way, and that turns people off sometimes. Then there's
Was
something.
the first half done by Robert Rodriguez?
If only he would probably don't want to do the second half, actually.
There's a part where someone gets
No, shut up.
There's
Shut
someone
up.
and
Shut
you
up.
can see bits in someone's hair.
Well, Greg Nicotero did the special effects.
You can see bits.
Okay, shut up. Anama.
Well, unfortunately, he can't shut up. He's got the next story.
I know. What is this Anomalisa thing? It's a 97%.
It's a Charlie Kaufman new film. By the way, that's not opening up this weekend. That's opening up in 4 theaters this
Wow.
weekend.
So they listed it. Yeah.
But I really want to see it. It's like stop motion animation. That's
Oh yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, I want to see
it's
that.
this hyper realistic stop motion animation.
It's interesting.
R-rated adult film.
I mean,
takes place.
If we can get it here, we probably would have had it at Belcourt if they were going to be open. But
No, this is opening wide in about 2 or 3 weeks.
okay, we'll see it then.
We'll see the green
Alrighty.
lights.
Go ahead.
All right, so
You got a story.
Dimension Films allegedly no longer has the rights to Halloween. Michael Myers will no longer be controlled by the Weinstein Company, who has been behind the franchise for 20 years. They first produced, in 1995, Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, and have gone since to deliver Halloween H2O, Halloween Resurrection, the best one, by best I mean the worst, as well as Rob Zombie's Halloween remake and Halloween 2 remake.
Yeah.
Well, they have been in development on a third film, possibly 3D. Basically, Miramax is starting over with the son of Mustafa Akkad, Malik Akkad.
Well, Malik Akkad has been. I don't know why they're acting like they're starting over.
I was about to say, he took over the rights back in.
Yeah, maybe he's just helping start over the franchise.
But really, they're looking for a new distributor to replace Dimension.
How do you let that go? I mean, how does it just?
You didn't make a movie, and you have no interest in making a movie. Because
what were the returns on
Halloween 2? I don't remember it being strong.
It wasn't strong because it was a bad movie, and I say this, generally appreciating at least to some degree what Rob Zombie does, but that movie was not good.
Halloween 2 came out in 2009 on a.
Yeah, I mean it's been 6 years.
Hold on. Hang on.
Has it been? Wow. There you go.
On a budget of $15 million, it grossed $33 total.
Well, then that's not a blockbuster, but
it works for like small indie horror movies. But Michael Myers in the Halloween franchise is a tentpole of the horror genre.
It should be doing 50 to 70.
Yeah, it should be. I agree. It should be a $50 to $70 million movie, and I think the franchise could be that if it had somebody who wanted to do it. Rob Zombie, it just really didn't seem like he wanted to do that second film.
Well, his director's cut proved that he didn't want to do a second film because at the end of the director's cut, they shot him in the face.
Yeah.
And then you have the whole sympathy story of we have this character of Michael Myers' Diary of the Psychopath, where we kill him off, he's done. We killed off Loomis, he's done. That's his director's cut.
Yeah.
His theatrical cut kept him alive because we needed a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
So
you mean of Halloween 1?
Of Halloween 1.
Halloween 1, yeah.
So when you see Halloween 2, it's like he had no interest in doing this. He probably did it because they asked him to, and it was a check.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he was under contract to do another film for them. And a lot of times it's one of those things because he was trying to get his own stuff made. It was either, I think it might have been that witch movie that came out.
Lords of Salem.
Yeah, and it's sort of the
you do the tentpole product, we'll give you your low
budget indie product. Yeah, which I think is what happened. So he slapped that Halloween movie together.
Did you hear what happened to his next film, 31?
Uh-huh.
He got slapped with an NC-17 like 3 times.
Yay.
Oh,
that excites me.
But that means he's having to cut down further a 3rd time to get that R.
That's fine.
And it comes out in 2 months.
We'll get the Blu-ray.
Like, it got like strong, bloody, graphic, sadistic violence, like a weird sex, and it's like, just give me this,
this
please.
Sounds like fun. Yeah.
Dude, it's about carnies that get kidnapped and have to run a gauntlet of clowns.
Oh, I
like, sign me up.
I'm in for that. I agree with you.
It sounds like a nightmare. I'm out.
That's okay, Catherine. We'll drink before. It'll be fun.
And then I can projectile vomit afterwards.
Well, that's
Great idea. I love it.
It was a fun night.
Yeah, it was a fun night, except for Nathan trying to drive me home and oh gosh, it was that was
a fun night.
Just all of the liquor. I can't drink buttery Chardonnay. By the way, what he's referring to is we saw Conjuring?
No, wasn't that that was Evil Dead, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe it was Evil Dead.
No.
We snuck in the Baby Boda boxes, which is I don't know, 2 glasses of wine. Baby Boda boxes of Chardonnay. I drank mine. I drank Steven's, and I drank part of Nathan's, and I projectile vomited when I got home.
The best part of that though was, it might have been Insidious 2.
Maybe it was Insidious too, because
It was Insidious too.
I remember the witch being on top of the wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Insidious 2 I didn't even really like. I had a good time at the movie though, because Catherine got really wasted.
And I had a big thing of popcorn, and I just crumpled it up.
That was we were sharing this popcorn. I look over, and the whole bucket is squished in. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, speaking of being funny, Carrie Fisher's taken to.
Nice.
I know. Good segue, Catherine. I'm good.
She's
on
on
fire tonight. Carrie Fisher's taken to social media. There has been a lot of criticism of how Carrie Fisher had aged leading up to The Force Awakens. And somehow the movie's massive success and continual breaking of box office records hasn't slowed it down. For those shallow ones among us, that's not me. Seeing the movie has intensified the insult.
Talking about you, right?
No, we're talking about Zach. Because when we talked about the movie, the first thing he said is, I just got to say, Carrie Fisher is not aging well. I'm like,
oh, yeah.
I'm going to need you to shut your mouth,
She
Zach.
aged the worst.
I'm going to shut your pie hole because she's 60 years old. That's a woman.
Okay, have you not seen the picture? This is so funny. Of Harrison Ford, and it says Harrison Ford is the only person alive that can look happy and mad at the same time. Because on one side, it looks like he's like kind of sort of smiling, and on the other side, it looks like he's had a freaking stroke.
Yeah, and that's where,
and he's a very handsome man. Do not get me wrong, but he has aged the same amount as Carrie Fisher. In fact, Carrie Fisher looks better because she is younger, isn't she?
Yeah,
and you know what?
70.
And you know what? It's the first thing I thought, Catherine. And I'm normally not the one who jumps on that kind of stuff, but Harrison Ford is actually, he's still awesome. But that dude,
he looks worn a good deal in the movie. But again, it's of course they are.
I was about to say,
and
how old are all of these people? They look incredible for their ages. Okay, so going on.
I wish I had a skeleton in the background that was Alec Guinness.
Now that guy aged terribly.
Everyone were going like, Carrie Fisher aged so poorly. It's like, Alec Guinness is a skeleton!
So, speaking for both her actual self and the body that carried her around, she tweeted, and this is my favorite, please stop debating about whether or not I aged well. Unfortunately, it hurts all of my feelings. My body hasn't aged as well as I have, below us, as well as her mind has.
Doesn't it say all three of my feelings?
Yeah, all three of my feelings. My body hasn't aged as well as my mind has, below us. My body is my brain bag. It hauls me around to those places and in front of faces where there's something to say or see. So, way to go.
She's
who I want to be when I grow up.
She went through a lot of issues, and I think a lot of it was depression and things, and she was self-medicating with drugs and alcohol and stuff. I am glad she got past that because she's smart. That woman is really quick.
She's hilarious.
I'd love to see her on like the Bill Maher show and stuff like that because she can just put anybody in their place. She's so quick. She was
also on the Today Show or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
Good Morning America.
Good Morning America, the one with the really cute blonde with the pixie haircut.
Oh my God.
And she started talking to her, and she was like, well, let's talk about you had to get in shape for this movie. And she was like, well, you know what? I did have to do some stuff, but let's talk about your exercise routine. You look great. And she was just so biting and insulting without being horribly awful. It was perfect. Because you knew, I think her name's Samantha, you knew Samantha had been kind of fed these questions from everybody else because that's what you ask female actresses. I know that during the whole entire Avengers Age of Ultron thing, when all of the guys were getting asked, oh, what's your favorite part of playing Iron Man? Or what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Every single time with Scarlett Johansson, they'd be like, all right, so what are your diet secrets? Like, what do you think about your makeup? Like, are you going to get, are more babies coming along the way? When men get asked actual questions. So it's just the same thing. And, that's why I love Carrie Fisher so much because she's just being, I can say ass on it, can I?
You can say ass, yeah.
There we go. She's being a badass bitch right now and just standing up for women's rights, and that's the way that it should be, because they should be asking her other questions and should be focusing on other stuff rather than that. Like I said, Harrison Ford has not aged very well in this movie either.
No, he's
That's
looking a little bit.
And Mark Hamill looks rough. But did anybody say anything to him? No, because she was the one in the bikini in the first place.
Right.
Whatever. But yeah.
And like I said, I'm normally not on that kind. I don't get on that kind of bandwagon. But and then Zach had to say, she's like, rough, man. Look at her.
Yeah.
I was like,
Harrison
they
Ford's
all
always
do.
like that dad you wish you had, and then Carrie Fisher is like heavy on the six.
No.
Let's
Let's hear. Harrison Ford's the granddad. I wish I had.
Yeah.
That's how old he is.
Exactly.
It's true. Yeah.
But no,
He could date my grandma.
and I love Mark Hamill. I don't know if it
on the
was.
screen long enough. He didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything, but I don't know if it was the Jedi robes or not. But they kind of made it look a bit fluffed up in the torso portion.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're alone on a hermit planet. You should probably be thinner.
It's kind of like the last Star Trek movie that William Shatner was in.
Yeah.
That girl looked like it was ready to pop, boy. It's like you could just bounce a quarter off.
But I mean,
Oh,
even if you look at it, it doesn't matter because they're old and they are allowed to have their bodies age.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I remember everybody's like, well, Leonard Nimoy's doing great. Well, Leonard Nimoy had cancer. That's why he's skinny.
Also, he's dead.
And he's dead now from it. So, yeah, he looked great.
Again, my Alec Guinness joke.
Exactly.
Alec Guinness looked phenomenal in this movie.
Because he was skin and bones. Remember, camera adds 10 pounds, people.
Yeah.
You gotta thin
If
it
you
up
want,
there.
if you want to thin it up, die.
Get cancer and die.
That's why he looked so good in episode 6. I don't have 6.
Don't mind if people if Carrie Fisher.
If people
was
get
fat.
old, that's so nice of you,
No.
Zach.
Yeah, you're so
My
giving.
main issue with Carrie Fisher was her voice. It was just like when she opened her mouth to greet Han Solo, it was like, whoa, I haven't seen a lot of Carrie Fisher. I haven't kept up with her or anything. I haven't even hardly.
Carrie
ever seen
Fisher,
her in another
Carrie
thing.
Fisher, even,
It was more jarring to me
If
than
you-
say Mark Hamill.
if you look
or
back at the
Harrison
original
Ford.
movies, Carrie Fisher did not have that wispy
No,
You
she
know,
never did. She had
bubble
a
voice
very.
to start with.
Yeah.
So
She
she's-
kind of has that Kathleen
Turner.
voice. And Kathleen Turner did the same exact thing. I mean, now what she does is she plays. Well, I mean, not now, but like one of the last things I remember was playing Chandler Bing's mom, and she was a transgender woman. It was nuts because her voice is so low and gravelly.
she makes fun of it herself. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Probably my voice will get low and gravelly as well because I have a lower timbre
Well,
to my voice.
When Kathleen Turner's voice got that way, like in her 40s, I was like, yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
great, and I mean,
sexy.
you just kind of own it.
yeah.
But that's a good thing about Carrie Fisher. She just kind of owns all of this, and that's why, she's gonna keep working, and it's gonna be wonderful for her. I can't wait to see what she does. What's gonna happen in the next?
In the next movies,
Yeah.
which is kind of, I think, tactically smart that she's doing all these biting critique tweets and public relations stuff now because the movie's out and she's in it.
Yeah.
So there is now an expectation that she still has to return. So if you were going to be critical to like the whole, I had to lose weight to do this part. It's like, well, they can't really hold that same stipulation as much anymore because she's got to be in the next one.
They need her now.
Yeah,
Yep.
at least for the next one.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can kill her in the next one, but they at least have to bring her back to the next one.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to kill off all the characters eventually?
No.
I think Leia will live through it.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Leia's gonna be the only one.
Questionable on Luke,
I'm questionable on Luke.
but Leia's going.
Questionable on
Unless they
We all know her.
kill her
questionable
off.
on Han.
Yeah. Questionable.
Wait, are we allowed to get spoilers?
No, we didn't give a spoiler warning here. All right, so let's talk about TV. Nico, you have a story in the TV, sir.
Yes, I do. So, the daughters of a New Hampshire teacher have sued CBS and other Big Bang Theory producers for copyright infringement because they claim the show has been using their mother's poem without proper attribution or permission, according to the Associated Press. Edith Newland wrote a poem about a, quote, warm kitty, end quote, in the late 1930s. TMZ has a copy of what appears to be sheet music. Fans of the series might recognize the lullaby used on Sheldon, played by Jim Parsons, that has similar words, and starting with the soft kitty lyrics instead. The soft kitty lyrics are among the best.
Sing it for us, Nico.
I honestly don't remember all the lyrics. I'm not that big with Big Bang. Yeah, it's like soft kitty, warm kitty.
Little ball of fur.
Yeah, and I don't remember the rest. But anyway, they're among some of the most popular things to come out of Big Bang Theory. The soft kitty thing is easy to remember for the most part, except in my case. The lawsuit says, according to the Associated Press, quote, "They have become a signature and emblematic feature of the show and a central part of the show's promotion," end quote. The problem is that the Newland daughters say their late mother has never been credited on the show, and nobody ever contacted their family or paid them for the poem. To boot, the lyrics have been used on merchandise in 8 episodes at 3 or more Comic-Cons. The lawsuit seeks unspecified damages. Deadline notes that Willis Music Company published the lyrics in a school songbook, and it claims it gave Warner Brothers Entertainment permission to use the lyrics. So basically, it's a dispute on who Warner Brothers should have gone to in the first place.
Exactly. It almost feels like they may be suing the wrong people. They may need to be suing the book publisher.
No, but these people have money.
Yeah, and I was going to say, isn't it?
Well, the book publisher probably has money now too.
Yeah, they got the residuals. From
However much Big Bang's paying them. At the time of the publication, Big Bang producers had not released a comment. But the lawsuit reportedly claims that Willis Music never consulted the Newland family about Big Bang Theory. It's unclear right now whether the initial contract stipulated as part of their deal with Willis Music to allow something like that. They are kind of aiming it at the wrong target, but they are aiming it at the bigger target.
True. But isn't it funny that this stuff always seems to happen right at the end of an era for either movies or TV? Because the showrunner is even saying that season 10 may be the last season for Big Bang. So all this stuff.
Has it been 10 years now?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Season
That
10.
show's been on for forever.
Season 10, yeah. That show was really funny in its first few seasons, and I just sort of lost.
Yeah, it just fell off. I mean, I watched the first few seasons.
I watched the first 4, I think.
And then I was like, it's the same thing.
It's enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll take some of that money.
I hate TV shows with the laugh track, just as on principle.
But your favorite show is Two Broke Girls.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It
is. Game of Thrones.
Zach,
That has a laugh
lie.
I'm going to contact HBO now, and I'm going to
request the laugh track.
Oh my God.
I am going to recut
It's
the
like,
first season.
can you recut episodes and make sure when they get transmitted to this one household that they have a laugh track, please? It'd be the best thing. I'm gonna hack your Comcast setup.
I'm just going to start bootlegging the episodes for Zach every Sunday night. I'll drop the laugh track in myself before we get started. Here you go. Here you go, buddy.
You know what's sad? I'd probably be desperate enough to watch it.
You would.
But laugh track.
The funniest contrast of laugh track and something that should never have a laugh track, I think, is if you guys ever watched Sports Night by Aaron Sorkin. It was a 2-season ABC comedy show, but it was an Aaron Sorkin show, so it's still very dramatic and smartly written, but it's set up to be kind of like SportsCenter, the production of SportsCenter and all the characters and all the stuff that goes into that. And going into it, it's a very early Aaron Sorkin show. Definitely a lot of the technique that's from there goes into things like West Wing and Newsroom. But it's billed as a comedy, and the first season has a laugh track.
That's ridiculous.
Imagine anything with Aaron Sorkin having a laugh track, and it is so awful. And you can tell through the first season how less and less and less they start using it, and it's gone in the second season. And it's
That's
just
awesome.
hilarious to note that.
You know, the whole laugh track thing, there was somebody wrote an article, and I don't know, it seems like there might have been a documentary that accompanied it later about laugh tracks and how like there's some really signature laughs that you can hear in them sometimes, and people have identified family members that are now dead because they use these same laugh tracks
I've heard
over
that,
again.
yeah.
That's creepy to me. Like you were listening, that's cousin Joe's laugh, and now he's gone. He's still laughing.
Maybe they should actually play these things in front of a real audience and record their actual reactions.
Well,
maybe then it might actually be funny because the Big Bang Theory would be silent the whole time.
Well, and then somebody like you would sit out there and heckle it and never shut up. That's why they don't do that.
You can edit that out.
No.
Yeah, but that's also going to be distracting for the actors, and it's going to be...
No. You film it like normal, then you screen it and record the audience.
Well, wasn't there was an era when some shows were in front of because there used to be
live audience.
There would be a show where they would say that this show is recorded.
I feel like a lot of the shows that I grew up with, like I remember Golden Girls, they would say Golden Girls is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Well, a lot of those kind of sitcom-y, even family type shows in like the 80s and up to the 90s. I don't know when that stopped being a thing. Probably like towards the end of the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stuff like Family Matters, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, stuff like Home Improvement. Like that's all live studio audience. I don't know when that stopped. Yeah, that is crazy, and it's so weird to think about the difference of production with a live studio audience versus being able to reshoot things.
Yeah, and you look at a show. A lot of the shows now they just couldn't do it. You look at a show like Modern Family. There's no way. There's so many sets.
But Modern Family doesn't have a laugh track anyway, which is great.
Yeah,
I love that a lot of sitcoms nowadays don't have a laugh track. That's great.
It's so painful.
But Modern Family's also
Here's when you laugh.
Modern Family's also not like
laugh now, you sheep.
Yeah, Modern Family's also not like a typically shot thing. It's not like Big Bang Theory, which is much more traditionally shot.
Sitcom.
Yeah, sitcom-y. That could be done with a live studio audience. But I don't think they would want to.
See, I've seen a YouTube video where they took the laugh tracks out of like an example of the Big Bang Theory, and it's painfully awkward. And then they did the same thing to like Seinfeld, and it was still funny.
Yeah.
That's because Seinfeld's funny. Big Bang Theory's not.
The first few episodes of Big Bang Theory.
Wait, how do you feel about Big Bang Theory?
Yeah,
I despise it.
It hates
me too. If you had to rank Big Bang Theory and Two Broke Girls,
watch Attack on Titan Part 1.
Let's put this
film.
Let's put this in.
Then watch the Big Bang Theory.
In a situation where we understand, because we don't watch that crap.
No. How about what would you rather do? Would you rather watch the what was it? 50 Shades of Grey, all of 50 Shades of Grey,
all 50 Shades.
All 50 Shades. Or would you prefer to watch Big Bang Theory like the same amount of time? Like, how much would that be?
Shades
an hour and a half. No way.
Anytime, any day.
Yeah, but
shut up.
Yeah, but we learned a few episodes back that Zach likes Twilight.
I'd rather go deaf than have to watch the Big Bang Theory.
I'd rather go deaf.
I would rather
keep talking.
Get a cancer.
Can you go mute?
Then
watch the Big Bang.
Can you go mute? Next story.
I'd rather.
He does.
I'd rather.
Read your story.
Read your story.
We're done with you now. Read your story.
You'd rather do anal.
We're done for you.
I'd rather do anal than watch the Big Bang.
I'm guessing you
I'm
would
dead
be
serious.
Yeah, I guess you would. Yeah.
KJ, please.
KJ will be
KJ, she's gonna have to be independent now. I know she's gonna get you for your birthday.
Exactly.
Well.
She's gonna be delivering, and you're gonna be receiving.
Oh.
So, Mad Max Fury Road actress Charlize Theron and House of Cards director David Fincher are teaming up for a brand new Netflix exclusive drama series called Mindhunter. Both Fincher and Theron are on board as executive producers, with Fincher also expected to direct. Additionally, the outlet has received reports that screenwriter Britt Jo Penhall is handling the script. Based on the 1996 book by Special Agent John Douglas and Mark Olshaker, it's titled Mindhunter inside the FBI's elite serial crime unit. So, let me get this straight, Fincher's doing 7-2.
I'm okay with that. Do we learn what's in the box?
I figured it's Fincher, man. Come on.
Can it open with like a shot of a FedEx box? It's like, oh, it was just some flowers.
Yeah, it was just, in fact, there's nothing in here but those damn packing pellets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, basically the book offers a behind-the-scenes look at a number of Douglas's biggest cases as he's hunted down some of history's most infamous serial killers. This also isn't the first time we're hearing about Mindhunter, as Fincher has been working to get the series off the ground for quite some time. In fact, he and Theron have announced that they were planning to bring it to HBO back in 2010. So, personally, after the success of House of Cards, I'm pretty sure Netflix is like, anything you want, Mr.
Whatever,
Fincher.
buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And actually,
most studios should be like, whatever you want, Mr. Fincher.
I'm willing to give anything he's going to do on Netflix a shot. I'm going to watch it and see,
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Because, Frank Underwood, man.
Do you want to do a sequel to Dune? Sure, let's do it.
man.
I mean, personally, just Fincher's style and camera work and way he shoots things.
I'd even watch a sequel to Panic Room.
Dude, I would do it. Yeah, just his style alone is worth checking out.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not into the subject.
Turns out they never actually got out of the room.
That's true. They're still in there.
That's
they're skeletons.
That's actually how the movie Room.
When you open the Panic Room, everybody will say, Jodie Foster is in such good shape.
No, they wouldn't because she's a woman, so they would critique it.
Yeah, she hasn't aged very
Your bones are a little thick.
Okay, here's a question for you.
She's big boned.
If you watched Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
and then didn't watch anything Carrie Fisher has been in or done since then, and then went into The Force Awakens, how would you feel?
I would be like, well, shit, it's been 30 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say like, whoa.
Yeah.
Am I under a weird misunderstanding that Return of the Jedi came out last year?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and then I would think myself like, oh my gosh, people get old.
Oh my
I'm
God.
old.
Yeah.
Because I think that's
Age
why
is a
I
thing.
to me
I'm
as
going
a
to
child.
eventually die.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would be thinking.
Just saying.
No.
Okay,
No.
well, I'm a horrible bastard.
Yeah, thank you. Finally,
We've spent how many hundreds of episodes talking about that?
I'm willing to even clap for that in my broken finger.
Mike needs to be here to write that down.
He does.
Oh, he does. Dang it, Mike.
Text him.
All right, so I guess
New on Blu-ray.
New on Blu-ray. Let me just get to the page here. All right, so there's really not that much. It's really a sad week for Blu-ray.
Well, all the movies had to be out.
About.
What do you mean? What am I talking about?
There is plenty.
He's so looking forward to Hitman.
Bone Tomahawk is out. I actually want to see that.
I kind of do too.
It's on Netflix though.
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
I'll watch
It
that
is.
tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know if the trailer looked interesting, but like the expediency that it came out to Netflix and
Makes you
HBO at the
worry.
same time.
But
Yeah.
first off, it was straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing good
So-
things though. And then if you want something else, you can get Hitman Agent 47 or A Walk in the Woods,
Or you could also get the Criterion Collections edition of the complete Lady Snowblood.
which we have for review.
Wait, this come out this week or next week?
It's next week. It's not.
Yeah.
Out.
Damn it! I thought it was this week.
What
No.
are you talking about? It's only we have it. It's not out yet.
I thought it was this month.
No.
No.
Okay.
I mean, most people want to get their movies out before Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's not that
So
surprising.
now we're just sort of in the recovery phase.
That's right, Criterion.
But now that Lady Snowblood coming out next week, we'll talk about it after we do the review because it's awesome.
I'm doing the review.
No, I'm doing the review because you can't write anything.
Okay. I got 4 things.
He's got one less finger than you, and he will still do it.
I wrote 1,600 words with one less finger.
Oh,
And
I will
with
borrow
one less
this.
with one less finger and no
No spoilers. See.
More than you can say,
That's
friend.
right.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
it
but if you
sucks.
want to get into the intricacies of the Hateful Eight without going into spoilers, you're going to have to
You don't have to get into the intricacies. You just say whether it's good or not. It's easy to do.
talk about the character of the Confederates.
I think
There's a difference
talk about
between a review
good
and a
luck.
critique. They're not the same thing.
There's it's a review and a postmortem. There's
Yeah.
two completely different.
A review is not a full-on an in-depth analysis.
Yeah, I like to say that I'm like the badass writer, but it's not that big of a deal. You can go to Rotten Tomatoes and look at 16 other reviews that don't spoil anything. It's not hard to do. Just
But
saying.
you can't talk about Michael Madsen, the character.
So, new in
comics.
comics. So, news first. The 75th anniversary of Captain America is coming in 2016, and ABC is celebrating the momentous occasion by airing an hour special that pays tribute to the long history of Marvel's iconic Avenger. The special, dubbed Marvel's Captain America 75 Heroic Years, will air on Tuesday, January 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern. It chronicles Cap's evolution from 1941 to now, exploring how the character has been a reflection of the changing times and the world he has existed in throughout the years. Several big names, including Marvel creatives Stan Lee, Joe Quesada, Luis Desposito, will share a few words about the iconic hero, as well as Steve Rogers himself, Chris Evans, Phil Coulson's Clark Gregg, and many more. if that weren't enough, Marvel Comics will also be making the exclusive an exclusive announcement during the one-shot event.
That's what I want to know what that is.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's going to be. And it's saying Marvel Comics, not Marvel Studios.
Right, which is fine with me. I'm interested.
Yeah, so, I mean, if it turns out to be a movie, and that's why I won't be surprised. But the fact
I don't
that
think it will be, though. I think it's going to be comic-related. Which, did you ever think that there would be a day where you're looking at mainstream TV on a Tuesday night and they make an announcement during the show about a comic book? Did you ever think that day would be here? I didn't either. I'm
thinking they're probably just going to bring back Steve Rogers as Cap. That's probably what.
And that will be fine because I'll start reading the comic again. Steve Rogers is Captain America, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and Tony Stark is Iron Man. Don't screw with it.
I don't fully agree. I like Miles Morales as Spider-Man.
I like it, but that's not Spider-Man.
I like Bucky as Cap.
No, I'm not.
But I do not, and I feel bad. It's nothing to do with ethnicity or anything about me not liking the Falcon as Cap. True. I like the Falcon as the Falcon.
Yeah.
Bucky, Winter Soldier, not a real good established superhero identity.
Yeah.
Falcon was a very well-established, decades-long
Falcon has been around, really.
And really, him inheriting Cap just undercuts how he was not supposed to be a sidekick to Cap, but a partner to Cap.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes sense if Dick Grayson becomes Batman because he's a legitimate sidekick.
Yeah.
But the Falcon was supposed to be his own guy who partnered with Cap.
Yeah, he was a badass in his own right.
And it kind of undercuts that development.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't like the outfit either. I think it looks silly. I mean, as many people kind of harped on the Bucky Cap outfit, at least it looked a lot more like Captain America.
Yeah, it's true. Now, we didn't talk about it because Michelle sent this to us. There really wasn't a story other than the fact that the Entertainment Weekly came out this week and it has the first image of Doctor Strange in costume.
Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange.
Yeah. I'm surprised about how much they're owning the costume a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it looks spot on. It's amazing.
The only thing it's missing is that ridiculous collar. Everything else is pretty much there.
It's pretty spot on, and I'm really excited.
I'm shocked.
I am completely shocked, and I was skeptical, and I still kind of am about Benedict Cumberbatch. Not that I ever thought he would be bad. I think he's a great actor.
Yeah,
but he was just never the guy I envisioned for the role. And
I think he's fine. The one I'm skeptical of is the director. I mean, he did what's that horror movie that he did? Some people love it. I haven't even watched it.
I don't remember who the director is.
Has Ethan Hawke in it.
Sinister? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yes, I've never gotten around to. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So I don't know how to feel about that. All I can say is it can't be worse than Fantastic Four, which I've watched.
It can't be worse than Iron Man 2.
Shut up. It can, because Fantastic Four was way worse.
I'm talking Marvel Universe.
I would not say Iron Man.
I'm talking Marvel Universe under the same studio.
No. I didn't hate Iron Man 2 as bad as
but it's the weakest. I don't know. I haven't seen Thor: The Dark World, so
I could probably argue, and I need to rewatch some of the movies. Like Thor: The Dark World, I haven't seen in a bit, but
I'm saying the weakest.
It was pretty weak. I did say that it was like the best Star Wars space combat scene since the trilogy. Well, that's wrong now, but
I tell you what was funny is Nathan came over because he had not seen the newest Avengers movie because he was working hardcore when it came out, and he also hadn't seen Ant-Man. And it took a lot of convincing. Oh, well, I actually liked Ant-Man.
I like Ant-Man a lot.
I haven't seen it.
I've rewatched it. I've rewatched it since I got it, too.
I like Avengers.
The funny thing is, we decided, because I have a crap ton of 3D glasses, that to watch both of the movies in 3D. The 3D actually looks better at home than it did in the theater.
I don't think I watched either of those in 3D in the theater.
I did. We watched them both in 3D. I saw them both in 3D in the theater, but we watched it here. And Ant-Man was fun, but it was a lot more fun on half of a jug of rum.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because we drank a lot of rum.
I had a lot of fun rewatching Ant-Man.
It's fun. It's nice to have something that's a little bit fresh and different.
It's fun. It's a bit of a smaller scale movie. It's not like the epic the world's gonna explode or something that like the Avengers or even the other Avengers characters like Cap. Winter Soldier was a very serious, dramatic, high-stakes
Winter
movie.
Soldier is still one of my favorites.
And it's so great.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool that Ant-Man is a bit more lighthearted. And I mean, even Guardians of the Galaxy's comedic as it was still a high-stakes movie.
Yeah.
But this one was like, this guy's not going to destroy the world or anything. He's just an asshole. People are probably going to die if he gets his way. It's a good idea to stop him.
Probably just a few people, though.
Yeah. I mean,
epic.
it could be bad if Hydra gets this weapon or something. But yeah, it's a much lower stakes, and it's a fun movie. And it's nice to have that change.
Yeah, I agree. So what comics should we buy this week if we want to buy comics?
From comics this week, it's not too slow of a week, even though it's the last Wednesday of the year to get comics. From Marvel, we have All New Wolverine number 3, Astonishing Ant-Man number 3, Captain America White number 5, Deadpool and Cable split second number 1, and Squadron Supreme number 2. From DC, we have Batman and Robin Eternal number 13, Black Canary number 6, Dr. Fate number 7, Flash number 47, and Justice League number 47. In other titles, we have Conan the Avenger number 21, Drive number 3, East of West number 23, Ragnarok number 7, and Rat Queens number 14.
All right, it seems a little slow to me.
I'm
really excited.
It's slow on the big two. Like, there's really nothing in Marvel or DC that I care about, but I really want to get the next Ragnarok, which is a book that's done by Walter Simonson, who's a prolific Marvel Thor writer through the 80s and I think early 90s. I forget when it's run in, but really phenomenal writer for Marvel Store. He's basically working with IDW to do his own mythological take on Thor.
Okay.
So it's not bound by all the Marvel ethos and everything in that, and it's still
but
really
it's probably
good.
it's doing like what I don't like. It's more fantasy based.
It is more fantasy based.
Yeah.
It basically takes place if Thor wasn't at Ragnarok and Ragnarok happened and all the gods died, but somehow he lived and woke up Rip Van Winkle style, like thousands of years later, and experiencing the world that way. It's still really good. It comes out very slowly. Simonson's doing the writing and the art, and he's great on all of those, but he's older too, so it takes him a bit longer to do that.
Yeah.
Rat Queens I also really like. It's an Image title. It's basically a D&D book. It's a fantasy story as well, magic, and this party group called the Rat Queens, and they're badass chicks and whatnot. And it's a fun book. And that one is coming out this week. So those two I do want to see. I just bought my comics, though, last week, so I'm probably going to wait a bit.
Okay, cool. Has it occurred to you that this year we're going to get Captain America Civil War, Thor Ragnarok, and another Star Wars movie all in the same year?
No, hold on.
Don't we get Rogue One this year?
Hold on. We're not done.
Batman, Superman.
Superman,
Deadpool.
Yeah. Which I think Batman Superman is honestly minor on the scale, and I also think Deadpool is too.
Suicide Squad.
I think that one's minor also.
I think it's minor. I would not say Batman versus Superman is minor.
I will say that last trailer has me want to see the movie officially.
Yeah, and actually I think Thor Ragnarok comes out 2017.
Is it?
Yeah.
So the only thing we're getting this year is Civil War? I thought there was another.
There's probably something else.
It's
not Doctor Strange, is it?
No, it is Doctor Strange. Why? Yeah, it's the one that we've gotten shots from. It's Doctor Strange.
Okay, but I mean, they just started filming.
The one we just talked about. Yeah, it's the later year. It's gonna come out in late 2016.
Oh, so it'll be more like kind of like the Ant-Man thing.
Yeah.
Late summer, maybe early
fall, probably.
What's the matter, Steven?
I'm getting a claws dug into me by this cat.
But yeah, that's probably what it's gonna be. The latest trailer, I'm kind of intrigued to see Batman versus Superman. I mean, I'm gonna go see it opening weekend. I mean,
absolutely.
Really, it is all on the strength of Ben Affleck. It's like
I agree.
That conversation that he and Clark Kent have, just as that opening line is like, "Can you tell me about the Bat Vigilante in Gotham?" That smirk is what sells me on it.
It's pretty great.
Son of a bitch! I'm gonna tell you about what I think about Batman and what I think about Superman.
I love it.
By the way, I'm Batman. I'm just not going to tell you. Like, oh, God. Ben Affleck looks so good.
What are you talking about? It's Batfleck. Remember Daredevil? I mean, obviously, you don't want him doing
Ben Affleck was not the poor part of that movie.
He was not the problem with that movie.
Do you remember the outlash that happened when he got cast?
Is Daredevil or Batman?
Batman.
No, I do remember. And I also remember when he got cast. Then I said that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I said it was great for that role.
I did too. I was with it from the
I'm
beginning.
just bringing it back. Like everybody was like, ooh. I'm like,
And everybody, I think everybody's gonna eat their words because even. Good.
Oh no! Well, I was gonna say this is the same thing that happened with Heath Ledger when he was cast as the Joker.
It's true.
Oh no! He's too pretty to be the Joker. I needed one
X-Men
photo from
Apocalypse.
the actual. I needed one photo where he was sitting there in the cell with the makeup on. I said, "Yep, that's it."
And
No, that didn't do it for me.
Catwoman.
I wasn't sold on him
Anne
until I
Hathaway,
saw the movie.
And this Catwoman, as soon as she snapped into that Selena Kyle character, she won me over immediately.
Yeah, she was good.
Like,
All right.
immediately.
Before we wrap up the show, we forgot to talk about Catherine's drink, so we need to do that.
Oh, and I already drank it all. Oops.
It was delicious.
It was delicious. I always love drinking my social. So this is Social. You can follow them at Social88, #LiveSocial, #DrinkClean. So Social is a sparkling sake wine, 88 calories, organic and gluten-free. It pretty much just has all the good stuff in there. Only 4% alcohol if you want to like drink a smidgen, but not get totally buzzed. This is hibiscus cucumber. The other flavor right now is toasted coconut almond, which is also delicious, but this is my personal favorite because it's really, really refreshing.
Yep.
So,
Socialenjoyments.com. Go and order it.
Do it.
Alrighty. So, everybody looking forward to the New Year's thing? What are you doing, Zach, for New Year's Eve?
It's my dad's birthday. We're going to go out and eat somewhere, I think, and then I'm probably just going to go back to my place and get drunk.
Well, we're gonna drink and board game.
I got 3 bottles of rum and vodka.
Okay.
Wait. I'm curious. I gotta ask this. So, is it 3 bottles and rum and vodka in each of those bottles, or are there
2 bottles of Captain Morgan tattoo and a bottle of some Tennessee vodka that's blueberry flavored?
Ugh.
What? Add it to Sprite. It's nice.
Blueberry flavor?
Tennessee vodka?
Blueberry.
That's disgusting.
I don't like.
good.
I'm not a
That's
blueberry.
absolutely
I
disgusting.
like it's good.
I like blueberry, but
I like a blueberry in my salad, but not blueberry flavored.
Do you like blueberry pancakes?
Not really. No.
Blueberry could work great in like a sangria or something. But
Here's
I
the
don't know.
thing.
Maybe.
Real blueberries are absolutely delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Fake blueberry taste is
No,
disgusting.
it's real blueberry. Like,
That's
Well, you should
cute that
just.
you think that.
I will send you a picture. It is hand bottles.
All right, I prefer blackberries though, and blackberry
I do love
drinks
some
are
blackberries.
delicious.
Yes, that's true.
By the way, you're drinking vodka, and vodka's gross.
So
What is wrong?
yeah,
I'm a terrible wasp. What can I say?
I mean,
Vodka is great
I like
if you're in
vodka.
college.
First off,
I like vodka now,
First off, when it comes to drinking,
but not that.
I
much.
am the pirate. Why is rum always gone? Okay.
rum is fine. Rum
Vodka's
is
a
fine.
secondary.
I like rum also.
Rum is my favorite.
Oh, we know George Clooney.
Why is rum?
I'm
That
Julie.
was me on vodka.
No, that was rum.
There's no way that was.
It was rum. I remember. I had video. I had video, buddy.
That video doesn't make out what I was drinking.
No, you
pretty
say it.
sure.
You say it at one point.
Okay, well, I don't remember.
Because you almost fell on and you're like, I almost spilled my rum
I
and
think
coke. I'm like,
that's-
I know you did.
I think the fact that you don't remember is why we have video evidence.
It's true.
Well, no,
That's true. All right, hey, Catherine, where would we find you on the internet?
You can find me, my regular self, Catherine May Holder. I'll find your social media sites, and my middle name is spelled Mai. On Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. You can also find me with my children's stuff, Ms. KT and Friends. So that's MIZZKTFRIENTZ.
Nice how you struggle.
So
And
I'm
you
not used
teach
to this.
children.
This is not Theron and Van because I used to have to spell that one. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Facebook with that one. So look it up because it's funny and I post funny videos all the time with my puppets.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Nico?
You can find me at all finer social networks under Nico Scream, Xbox One, Nico Scream 1. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, Halo 5. Have you played Halo 5 yet?
No, not yet.
It's fun.
I've heard.
The story makes absolutely no sense. But
Well,
the gameplay is fun.
It's Halo.
I
It's
mean,
true.
that's the same thing you could say about Call of Duty. But
Yeah, but it's fun.
That's why I don't play such dribble.
No.
No,
it's
I think
awesome.
my next game is I really do want to play Battlefront. so much.
I'm hearing bad reviews of it though.
Really? Because
I've heard it's great for like 2 or 3 hours, and then you run out of content.
Yeah, like the mechanics I'm hearing are.
I just want to. I don't even have to play it. I just love seeing like Vader just wreck shit.
I kind of want to do it
He
too.
takes a knee, right?
What?
Yeah, when Vader dies, he takes a knee.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
In Battlefield.
Oh, front.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
totally
you know,
derailed it.
like, they have the special people like Boba Fett, Han Solo.
Oh, so the people who can't die in the game because they're movie important, so they have to make it to the next movie. They don't actually die. They just...
Yeah, they take a knee.
Okay.
Oh,
I got it.
Because is the game supposed to be canon?
No.
No, it's not canon, but
Who
they
cares?
don't want you to kill them, I
And
guess.
then they're adding in DLC for Kylo Ren and everybody. Please pay $70 for DLC.
Eh.
Meh.
$70.
No, you just
for
wait.
DLC.
I still really enjoy the Star Wars books. The Vader Down crossover right now is a lot of fun.
Yeah. It sounds like it is.
I mean, I played the beta. It's super
All right, Zach, do you want to give a promo for something where you are on the internet? Does it matter?
You can find
Nobody
me.
cares.
All right, that was good.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you can find me on the internet. But you can also find me on the cell phone internets on Instagram. The Master of the Matrix 91 should post some things.
Nice.
You can also find me. I'm going to be writing like several reviews. Some about a ton of movies I've seen this year. Some about some good movies. Some about some really bad movies about this year.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also find me. I don't know, at work.
Okay. Find me at Everything CultureSmash, whether it's Facebook or Instagram is fun because I post pictures of things we have coming for review, which is the Lady Snowblood's up there right now. And you can, if you want to join us, we will be having bidding. It's really short notice, so you need to mail me right away. cinegeek@gmail.com. You know, I promised Hector that we would do the film off the beginning
I was
of the
about to say,
episode.
since now that Star Wars is going and me and Dwayne have numbers
I
on
can't
it,
believe we
I
forgot to
wondered.
do it again, and I told Hector in the chat room that we were going to do
You know what? We forgot about it. Star Wars.
Star Wars. It's totally Star Wars derailed us. Let me just run the numbers really quick for everybody because there's something epic on here. So
Sweet.
in the current contributor one bracket, I am at 406 million. Zach is at an estimated 270 million, as is Dwayne because it's a split. It's not exact. I have to get the exact number when it gets closer. Nico is at 143 million.
I bombed in
And
this
then
one.
Nathan is at 386 million. So right now, as it stands, I've won this game. We'll see. They have 2 more weeks of Star Wars. I don't know. I mean, something could happen.
That would be amazing.
It could happen.
That would be.
Where it could be a tie for the win.
I mean, you're still
I-
beating Nico no matter what.
I'm still beating Nico. Nico has officially lost our bracket. Yeah. So in the contributor 2 bracket, Catherine at 302 million, Hector at 386 million, Stephanie at 222 million, Mike at 191 million.
Wait, what was I at? 140?
You were one.
No, I fell behind Mike.
You fell behind Mike. Yeah.
That was my saving grace.
No.
Yep. Not now. And then Ada is at 418 million.
Woo,
Now, what's
Ada won.
epic about this is Ada won your bracket, but at this point in time, she's won the entire game. She's got the highest number of anybody in the game right now because she's got a higher number than me.
And they didn't have the extra month.
And they didn't have the extra month. Yeah. I don't have anything in this month except my wild card movie, which is In the Heart of the Sea, which didn't do that much.
Hold on. Did you hear that? Yeah, it flopped.
Yeah, it did flop. That's not even a
No.
joke.
I
But
didn't
there's
hear that.
the football numbers. So essentially what's going to happen now is Nico is going to play with contributor bracket 2, and Ada and Mike will both be moving to contributor bracket 1.
Wait, Mike's gonna move back up?
We usually have been doing this. Isn't that what we do? Usually
Yeah,
you
usually
come crawling back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to come crawling back. Yeah. So we'll figure out the complete distribution of this before next week. So Ada will be replacing Dwayne. Ada will be replacing Nico.
Yeah.
In this one. So anyway, I'll put the numbers up this weekend for the next set of bidding, and we'll do that next Wednesday. There's actually a lot coming up. And then the week after that, we'll do Best of the Year, and the week after that, we'll be doing the Oscar game, Oscar picks, looking at what's coming up for that
You know what's amazing about the
overly
Oscars
long
this year?
award show. What's that?
Name an Oscar contender, like a strong Oscar contender.
It's true.
I mean, like, there's no front runner.
Yeah, it's true. You're right. That I can't really. I couldn't name it right away.
I might say like Spotlight, but I don't really feel.
It's such a good movie, though.
It's good, but do you really consider that Best Picture of 2015?
I don't know.
No.
No.
I mean,
yeah, you're right.
my number one may be, but I don't think it's going to get the recognition that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. So anyway, I guess that'll wrap it up for this week. And we will see everybody next week.
Next year!
Next year!
Wake up, friends.